What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live transfer video update. Today, we'll be talking about the latest news surrounding Arsenal as Mikel Arteta and Stan Kroenke reportedly are clashing over the summer transfer window. We'll delve into a little bit, see what they've said, see what we believe and what we make of it. We'll also talk about Raphinha, who's been linked with a move to Arsenal. Fabrizio Romano confirming Arsenal are interested in him as a possible replacement for Nicolas Pepe. We've got some other transfer news as well. Big up to everyone who's been supporting these pre-recorded videos, all the comments, all the likes, all the super thanks you've been putting in. Really appreciate that. Keep subscribing to the channel as well. And hope you're all having a great weekend. We got sunshine in the UK. I can't believe it, people. Finally, it's hot. And right, let's talk transfers. Are the transfers heating up? Not really. They're lukewarm at the moment when it comes to Arsenal. So, story broke last night in the Daily Mail. Apologies, Daily Mail, not the greatest of newspapers to take this off. But Matt Hughes of the Daily Mail says Mikel Arteta's transfer window woe. The Arsenal boss is angry at the club's indecision in the summer transfer market. And now, it goes on to say, as Chiefs drag their heels over signings and insist every deal is signed off by the American owners, with fears they could now miss out on Gabriel Jesus. Mikel Arteta is growing frustrated by Arsenal's indecision in the transfer market. So, let's break this down. Let me break this down, people. I'll give you the little bit of knowledge that I know of football and transfers and how these things work. Nearly every transfer in a football club will be signed off by the chairman. The chairman doesn't give you, the bank card and say, listen, you know what I mean, mate, there's 100 million on there. When you've spent it, let me know. No, it doesn't work like that. Arsenal would go to Manchester City, say, right, we want to sign Gabriel Jesus. How much do you want? Sporting director will negotiate with theirs. They'll try and figure out a fee and a payment structure that the club can afford. He will be in contact with Josh Kroenke throughout this, Edu. And then once the deal is agreed, so they say, okay, 45 million, you pay it over 4 years. Initially, you give us 20 million up front and the rest over the, whatever remainder of time. Edu would then go to the Kroenkes, say, this is how the deal is on paper. Will you sign it off? Once it's signed off, the deal is completed. You will then go and negotiate, obviously, with Jesus at the same time, and the deal will be completed like that. So this story that, Mikel Arteta has to go to the Kroenkes to sign off any transfer business. That's how pretty much every transfer. You don't sign players without your chairman knowing. So I think this is PR, people. When I say P, you say P. P. The Arsenal PR machine working in full effect, people, once again. They know that the fans are getting agitated. Some people say, the transfer window's only been open a day. Listen, forget that. I told people about this before. Do you think teams don't sit there and go, right, first day of the window, right, let's get the paperwork out, right, who we signing? Nah, this ain't Football Manager. They have been having meetings with agents for months, speaking to players, negotiating transfers. They're announced from the first day. They don't start on the first day of the transfer window. Arsenal must be seeing there is a little bit of fan unrest. We were linked with Darwin Núñez for months. He ends up at Liverpool. We were linked with Vlahovic. He ends up at Juventus. Now they're probably seeing more and more traffic in this Gabriel Jesus deal, and they're thinking, we've been spewing his name for the last 3 months. Now this deal looks dodgy, because AC Milan want him. They've just won the league. Chelsea want him. They're in the Champions League. And all of a sudden, Arsenal probably panicking a little bit. So, listen, I'm not defending the Kroenkes. I don't want them owning the football club. I think we need better owners than them. I realise they've spent a lot of money in the past, which I commend them for that. But they don't want to win, in my opinion. They're not desperate enough to win trophies. The owner said it himself. And listen, spending money does not necessarily mean you're a competent owner. Good owners hire the right managers. Good owners hire the right sporting directors. And, in my opinion, Arteta, Edu, Vinay, these are not the guys that are going to win you major trophies and take you back to the top. So whilst the Kroenkes have spent money, you can see by the people they're hiring. Now, Mikel, in my opinion, has to understand what his role is at this football club. I don't believe this story to the fullest. Arteta may be frustrated that, oh man, we haven't signed anyone yet. We haven't got Jesus. We haven't got Tillemans. He knew when he flew to America in January, when he arranged this new contract, he knew what the circumstances were going to be. I'm not being disrespectful when I say this, people. We know that Arteta is the Kroenke's puppet. They are going to control him. He's happy to be there. He's the Arsenal manager, 8 million a season. He can't believe he's in this job. So if they tell him go and sign young players and get us assets for the future, then he's going to do that. Unfortunately, this is the way we're being ran. So I don't buy into this story. It's coming out of the Daily Mail. Yes, Arteta probably is frustrated, but he knows what the circumstances are at this football club and what the Kroenkes want to do. For me, the Kroenkes looked at it and said, right, £150 million wage bill. Players on massive wages and we're still not successful. So why not cut this wage bill, get a cheaper manager, get young players, project youth. The fans will be patient because they're young. The fans will be patient because the manager's inexperienced and will throw PR all over it to buy time off people. And people are buying into it, I'm afraid. So listen, don't be surprised if a lot of these names we're talking about don't end up at Arsenal this summer. And I'm sorry to bring that kind of pessimistic attitude, but we've seen this story before, and this is why I clash a lot of the time with other people and the way Arsenal are structuring this. This is business. Arsenal want to make money right now. They don't seem like a club to me that is desperate to get back to these glory days. That is for sure on the background. But there you go. I want to know your thoughts on this story, people. This is the main story of the day. Arteta frustrated apparently with the lack of transfer movement. They're saying in the Mail that, you know, the owner has to sign off transfers. Of course they do. You don't go and buy a player for 50 million, then ring the chairman and say, yeah, mate, I borrowed your American Express black card and I've signed, you know, Jesus for 50 million. Is that all right, mate? No, it don't work like that, bro. Every transfer is signed off by the owner. That is for sure. Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's be a bit more optimistic and hope that we can get new players in. The main player we're being linked with today, people, is Leeds United's Brazilian winger, Raphinha. A very good player. You know, I'm sure everybody in the chat has seen him play a number of times. Very, very talented. He's in the Brazil squad at the moment, and it's believed he's going to leave Leeds this season. 11 goals, 3 assists last year in 35 games. He was their top goal scorer. He's in the Brazil squad, 25 years of age. And interestingly enough, he was teammates with Gabriel, our centre-back, in Brazil years ago when they were younger. So they've known each other for a long time. Now, Fabrizio Romano has confirmed Arsenal's interest in Raphinha, saying that he is a target. He is somebody that they've looked at and are looking at this summer. The story goes on to say it's believed Raphinha would be a possible winger target if Arsenal were to sell Nicolas Pepe this summer. And he would cost in the region of 50 to 60 million pounds. So I want to know your thoughts on Raphinha. For me, I think he's a very talented player. I like him. I would take him at Arsenal. However, my only question mark over this deal would be, there's reports you can maybe get Gnabry at about 40 million. Would you rather get Gnabry for 40 or Raphinha for 60? Now, I know Raphinha's wage would be a lot lower than Serge Gnabry. Serge Gnabry may not even want to come to Arsenal, let's be real. Raphinha would probably be easier to convince. It looked as if Raphinha was on his way to Barcelona. There's a lot of financial problems coming out of Barcelona at the moment. Maybe they can't afford to drop 60 million on Leeds United. So let me know your thoughts on Raphinha. Listen, I like him. I think he's good. Very good dribbler, quite, you know, silky on the ball. A little bit of that Riyad Mahrez left footer on the right. Cuts inside, nice and skillful, scores goals. I would take him. I think 60 million is a little bit too much for him, if I'm being honest. But I can understand why he's going to cost that much. The fact he's at a Premier League club and he's in the Brazil squad. So let me know in the comments what you think about Raphinha. Would you rather sign Gnabry or Raphinha? Is he that much better than Nicolas Pepe? And Is this a move you would like to see? He predominantly plays on the right. So if we signed a right winger, that would mean possibly Saka going to the left or Martinelli. I suppose competition for places. But let me know what you think about Raphinha. Another link with a player coming into the football club. I don't know how much I believe this one, but Corriere dello Sport over there in Italy claim that Arsenal are interested in Milinkovic Savic from Lazio. Lazio prepared to sell him this summer for 65 million euros, which is around 54 million pounds. It's saying here that Arsenal are maybe willing to pay about 45 million, penny pinching, of course. Listen, Milinkovic Savic, good player, big, strong, physical. For anybody that plays FIFA, he's had some legendary cards on FIFA over the years. He's just had his best season in terms of numbers. Played a little bit higher up the pitch this season. 11 goals and 11 assists this season. 22 goal contribution. He's been the Lazio captain a number of times this season as well. I would love to see him come to Arsenal. Big, strong, not overly quick, but, you know, someone like him next to Thomas Partey would be an excellent signing. 27, really in the prime of his career, you feel now. And it's believed that they're willing to sell him for 65 million euros. Now, he's still got 2 years left on his contract. His contract is, I say only, but only 75 grand a week. You know that Premier League clubs could quite easily double that. And it's believed he's looking for a move. Lazio didn't make the Champions League last season, and he's looking for another move. Now, it's linking Arsenal and Newcastle with moves for him. Manchester United have been linked with him in the past. Would you take Milinkovic Savic at Arsenal? Me personally, I would love to see Arsenal get him. Big, strong, physical, can play, scores goals, creates goals, ticks a lot of boxes for me, and I would be all over that deal. I just don't see if that's really true. Would Lazio allow him to go for that much money? He's still got 2 years left, so there's no desperate need to sell him. Let me know what you think in the comments. Milinkovic Savic to Arsenal. For me, I would love that signing personally. Let's talk about a couple of players potentially leaving the football club, people. David Ornstein confirming today that Fulham are in talks to sign Bernd Leno from Arsenal. The Athletic understands Leno is currently believed to be their favoured candidate. Nothing has been agreed yet, but the goalkeeper is thought to be keen on staying in London. So, listen, we know he's going to leave. He wants first-team football. He wants to go to the World Cup with Germany, whether that's second, third choice. Neuer, Ter Stegen are ahead of him. A move to Fulham, bit risky in the fact that, you know, you could go there for 1 year and end up in the Championship. But maybe he'll put a relegation release clause in the contract that if they were to go down, he could leave straight away. He could stay in London. Fulham, a pretty good club, play good football, and he stays in the Premier League. Obviously, he must be comfortable in London at the moment. It's believed this could be about £10 million, which for me is unbelievably cheap for Bernd Leno. Honestly, again, Arsenal terrible at selling players. Bernd Leno, for me, is a very good goalkeeper, good enough to be number one at a number of clubs. I think Leno would start at half the teams in the Premier League. £10 million for me is way too cheap, but he's got a year left, and we're terrible at negotiating transfers when it comes to players leaving, so it wouldn't surprise me. 10 million for Bernd Leno. Shambolic business. We paid 20 odd million for him, but wouldn't surprise me with him having a year left. Let me know what you think, people. Obviously, Matt Turner coming in, Aaron Ramsdale already here. There's obviously going to be no room for Leno. Interesting that, you know, 2 years ago, year and a half, 2 years ago, we let Emi Martinez go to keep Bernd Leno. A year later, we signed Ramsdale to replace Leno. And a year after that, you're talking about £10 million to Fulham. Crazy decisions, but this is Arsenal, people. So let me know what you think about that. And the final one, Ainsley Maitland-Niles. He's like the forgotten man of Arsenal, to be honest. He's been on loan at Roma for the season. Roma have already indicated, Jose Mourinho, that they don't want to sign Ainsley on a permanent. He was in and out of the team. It's interesting that he went on loan again, saying, I want to play in midfield. Most of his appearances, he played right back or right wing back. Did okay at Roma, nothing special. There were rumours, people saying technically he wasn't good enough to play in Italy because of the style of football. He's not going to sign for Roma. He's being linked with a move to Nottingham Forest, hometown club. of mine, and just been promoted to the Premier League. Personally, I think he would be a very good signing for Forest. It's believed Arsenal will take £8 to £10 million. Again, shambolic business for a guy that's early 20s, played for England, been at Roma, been at West Brom, been at Arsenal, and you're talking £8 to £10 million. You'd be lucky to get a decent Championship player for £8 million. You're talking about Leno for 10 million, Ainsley for 8 million, Guendouzi for 9 million, Mavropanos for 3 million. We really are the worst club in the Premier League when it comes to selling players. Absolute shambles. Ainsley has a year left on his contract. For me, I think Ainsley would be a good option this season in terms of Europa League, backup in the Premier League, can play right back, can play right wing back, can play centre mid. The problem is I just think his relationship with Mikel Arteta is done and dusted. He's got a year left. The club will want to get some money for him. And being linked with a move to Forest, it's been reported by John Cross. And listen, I think this will be a good move for him. Can Forest afford his wage will be the question. So let me know what you think about Ainsley. Thank you very much for tuning in, people. Really appreciate all your support on these videos. Thank you for all your new subscribers and obviously the OGs from day one. Big up to everyone liking the video. Keep sharing, keep subscribing, keep liking. Thank you for all your super chats. Let me know what you think about anything we've spoken about today. The PR machine in full effect. Defending Arteta in this Kroenke debate. He knows what he signed up for, in my opinion. Raphinha, would you take him? 60 million. Milinkovic Savic, I would love to sign him. I'm not sure those links are true, but what do you think? And Leno and Maitland-Niles going for absolute peanuts. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, people. I'll be back again tomorrow. Live streams will be back in full effect next week. Make sure you like the video and subscribe. Enjoy your weekend, and I will see you all tomorrow, people. Bless.